business now. Gentlemen, do you hear me very well?
Yes, teacher, yes.
Oh, Nizar, how are you, Nizar? You okay?
Yes, I'm good.
Oh, very good, very good. Here we are. Let's start out. Please, if you have any question, as the message which I sent to you, if you have any question, if you can just ask me using your mic, it's faster than we write. It's faster, and to save our time as well. You remember the information which I sent you before about the opinion essay, about how to start it, about organization, about how to use it. Do you have any question about that before we start? Because now we are going to use the quantity expressions in opinion essay, which is page number 119 in your book. But before we start those quantity expressions, I would like to hear from you. I need to clarify if you have any question about what we have already studied. If you have any question, please don't hesitate. Just feel free, because we are here to solve this problem if you have any. Okay? If you have a question, maybe you can write it later, if not now. So let's start now. Yes, gentlemen, you remember when we started the opinion essay, we talked about when to use it, and we talk about the organization, and talk about the counter argument and this stuff. Today, our lecture is about the using quantity expressions in the opinion essay. This is very important. This is very important. So, for example, let's put introduction to what we are saying. You remember the topic which we have already discussed about space exploration, okay? If we start like this, for example, if we say, people are in favor of space exploration. When you say people, you are using overgeneralization, because I'm not sure that all people are in favor of space exploration. So we have to use some expressions to limit this organization, overgeneralization. As we proceed, we'll show you lots of examples about that. Okay, as you see here, let me read to you. There are many phrases used to express quantities and amount in English. In general, much and many are used. Much and many, you know, much is used for uncountable nouns, many used for countable nouns. Use this example here, using quantity expressions in opinion essay, as I told you, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. In an opinion essay, writers often make general statements. It's important to avoid generalization, okay? This is called overgeneralization, as I mentioned before. Look at this sentence here. This is beside what I told you about the space exploration. If somebody says, cats hate water, cats hate water. Okay. Do you think that all this means or implies that all cats hate water, which is untrue? So to limit the generalization, we can use some words like most, few, some, okay? Because not all of them, sure. Most cats hate water. Most cats hate water. For example, tigers, as you see here, they like water, they like swimming. So what we do now, in order to the quantity second statements, the writers use quantity expressions like most, because not all of them. And we see that the quantity expressions qualifies or limits the generalization so that the statement is true. Here we have a list of some expressions that are used to limit this overgeneralization. much or many. Okay, much. طبعا as you said in B1 plus before, much is used for uncountable nouns. Much sugar, much rice, much water. Okay. Let's start here. Say for this example here, there is much interest in learning English around the world. Much. You cannot say many interest. Okay. Also, much is used also in questions, as you can see here. How much money do you have? Or in the negative, when you say there isn't much butter left in the fridge or in the refrigerator. So when I'm using much or many, as we'll see, now I'm just trying to suppress the overgeneralization and giving some limits. Okay. On the opposite side, you have many here, many which is used for the countable nouns. Look at this example. How many people came to the party? There aren't many people. This is in the question, and in the negative it's used here. There aren't many apples on the table. There's a note here that many is used in positive and negative, unlike much, as we told you a few minutes ago. Okay, gentlemen, do you have a question about this piece of information here? Do you have any question? Let me hear from you if you have any question. Any question? Nasser, Muhammad, Khaled? Any other questions if you need to know? Or if you are waiting until the end of the lecture, it's up to you. Yes, I can hear somebody. Speak up, please. Okay, since there's no question for the time being, let's continue and then we will start here. We have some questions. No questions. Oh, fine, thank you. This means that you got it. It's easy because you know it before. It's not something new for you. Okay, let's start with the next step. We'll say a lot of, lots, or plenty of. Okay. These are formal actually. A lot of and lots can be used with both countable and countable noun. A lot of people, a lot of sugar. Okay, lots of people, lots of sugar. You can see countable and uncountable nouns here. A lot of and lots are used in positive sentence, not negative, not in the question. Here, look at this example. There is a lot of water in that jar. Type. Can you say there is much water? Can I hear from you here? Because we used much a few minutes ago. Can you say there is much water in the jar? Yes, gentlemen, what do you think? Yes, sir.
No, teacher.
Much water. Water is uncountable noun, right? And much is used with uncountable nouns. Am I correct? This means the answer is yes. Much water. You can use much water in this concern. Yes. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much. Let's continue now. Okay. There is a lot of water. There is much water, you can say if you want. He has got lots of friends in London. He has got lots of friends in London. Lots of friends outside can be used here. There is a note here that generally speaking, lots of sounds less formal than a lot of. If you want to compare lots of with a lot of, okay, lots of sounds less formal. It's less formal than a lot of. Let's move to a little and few. A little and few indicate quantity or number. Quantity or a number. Okay, this is with a. But without a, it means it indicates a limited quantity. just a limited number of things. A little and little. Use a little with uncountable nouns. There's a little sugar in my coffee. Use a few with countable nouns here, as I told you. He has few friends in New York. New York. This is also countable nouns here. Little and few indicate a limited number, as we told you here. Use little with uncountable nouns. I have little money to spend. Use few with countable nouns. He has few students in his class. This is called positive. He has few students in his class. I'm sure, let's move to the next step. I'm sure you are familiar with some. I'm sure you are familiar with this refer for the quantities for limited number. Use some for positive sentences. Use some in positive sentences when there is neither a lot of or little, a lot or nor little, neither a lot nor little. I have some, small quantity. Some can be used also with both countable and uncountable nouns. Look at this example here. We have some friends who work in Los Angeles, LA. This is positive. I have saved some money to spend on vacation this summer. Okay. This is for some, which is for countable and uncountable nouns. Friends, countable. Vacation, countable. Use any in questions. I'm sure that you know this before as well, but let me try to explain it. Use any questions or ask if someone has something. Any can be used with both countable and uncountable nouns. Look here, look at this example when it's used for questions. Do you have any friends in San Francisco? Is there any pasta left? This is the uncountable noun here. Also, any is used in the negative sentences. Use any with countable or uncountable nouns in negative sentences here. Look at the example. We won't have any time for shopping today. We will not. This is the negative. They didn't have any problems finding our house. This is also here with the negative. So use any with the negative, whether it's countable or uncountable nouns. Enough. Let's go to enough. Using enough with countable and uncountable nouns to state that you are satisfied with the amount of something. I have enough time, enough food, enough care, whatever. She has enough time to visit her friends in Dallas. She spent her time nice and smooth without problems, and the time was enough and suitable. Another example here, I think we have enough hamburgers for tomorrow's grill. Here also, this means that I have enough quantity of hamburger for me for tomorrow's grill party. Gentlemen, remember, we are still talking about the quantity expression used in the opinion essay. We cannot generalize. We have to be more specific. Okay. Not enough, which is the opposite of enough. Here, use not enough when you are not satisfied with the amount of something. It's not enough for you. You need more quantity of something. Use not enough. Do you think 1 hour for this lecture is enough or not enough? What do you think? Let's hear from you. Do you think 1 lecture is enough or not enough for the quantity expressions used in the opinion essay? What do you think? Is it enough or not enough? If you know enough, now I benefit from both people who say enough or not enough. If you say enough, this means that you're satisfied with something. Not enough means you are not satisfied. I don't need the answer in particular, but from your answer, I can detect that you know how to use enough and not enough. Yes, Bander, Bader Nasser. Can you talk to me, Bader? Is enough, yeah, Bader, or not enough? Okay, maybe you have a problem. You can write if you want. You can write Badr, enough or not enough. Yes, Badr. Hello, Badr. Hello, Badr. You may join us just right now. Anyway, I was asking about how to use enough or not enough. You know this one before, maybe. Enough when you are satisfied with a number amount of something. Not enough means you are not satisfied with something and you need more quantity to satisfy your needs. Okay. Okay, let's continue, gentlemen. Let's continue. Okay. Okay. Not enough here. We told you here. Let me do example. I'm afraid there isn't enough time to continue this conversation. I'm not talking to you. I'm just kidding. Huh? Go away. There is time. We are here. We have nothing to do except teaching you. Okay. Let's move to another example down here. There aren't enough people working at the moment. Enough people. So tells me that the quantity is not enough. I need more. I need more people to work. Okay. Let's move down to each and every, which are used also in the quantity expressions in the opinion essay. Each or every, we can use each or every when referring to individuals in a group. Every people, every person, every teacher, every student. You are the group. I want to say every student. I think a person in this room would agree with me. Agree. Let's move down here. I'm sure each step of this process is important. Each step, every step means we cannot miss or skip any part of this process. Okay? It's referring to individuals in the group. Gentlemen, I hope that you have understood. We have told you about. If you have any question at the end, also I will try to listen and wait for questions. For the time being, let's to make sure that you have understood this lecture. Let's move to exercise number 1, page number 119. Go open your book now. If you have the book, I'm sure that you do. Exercise number 1, page 119. Okay. Let's start with this exercise 1, identifying correct quantity expression. We have 2 quantity expressions here, and I would like you to check the right answer. Okay. And I would like you to check the right answer. Okay. Now, let me read for you. Circle the correct quantity expression in each sentence. Circle the correct quantity expression in each sentence. Now, طبعا number 1 is solved for you, just as an example. May, a lot of creativity is necessary for certain types of technology jobs. Many, a lot of. A lot of creativity is necessary. A lot of here is used because many is used with countable nouns here. Number two, I'll wait for you. There are a few or little places where the sea level is rising. There are a few or little places. See places here? It's countable noun, right? So this will might give you an indication. Number two, there are a few or little places where there's sea level is rising. Okay. Now let me wait for your answer. Let me wait for your answers here. Muhammad Ahmed, I think he think a few. Okay. Nizar says a few. Ahmad Tayyib says a few. A few. Oh, also we have Muhammad Saad. Okay, Muhammad Saad, Muhammad also Turki Al-Gahni. Ahmad Sayyid already said that. Ziyad. Oh, thank you very much. I would like to say bingo, you got the right answer. There are a few places, if you use with countable noun, places countable noun, little is used with uncountable nouns, as you know. Thank you very much. This is great. Let's move to number 3. A little or several bills means many. A little or several bills in Congress have tried to protect internet users from fraud. Fraud means this is not illegal things. Little bills, several bills. Little bills, several bills. You remember a little? Several used with nouns. When you see this S here, this will give you an indication. Can I hear from you now? A little bills or several bills? Oh, great. Hassan, Ali, Abdul Majid, Nizar, Turki, Ziyad, Muhammad Hussein, Muhammad Al Saud. MashaAllah, you got the right. Several, yes, you're right. Several bills. Several bills. Thank you very much. Bingo. You hit the right nail on the head. That's true. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's move to number 4. Only a little computer, a few computer viruses have created serious damage. Viruses. Maybe this S will give you some indication. This will give you some indication for what you say. A little computer viruses or a few computer viruses. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Hassan, Ali, Muhammad Sail, Abdul Majid, Ahmed Hassan, Ziyad, Muhammad Saad, Muhammad Al Saud, Abdul Aziz Al Nubi. Oh, Abdul Aziz. How are Abdul Aziz? We miss you, Abdul Aziz. Oh. Thank you very much. All of you got the right answer. Thank you very much. A few computer viruses have created serious damage. Let's move to number 5 now. Thank you for your interaction. Thank you. Number 5. Many time, a lot of time is spent. Many time, a lot of time is spent. Time here is countable or uncountable noun, maybe you know. Many is used with countable nouns. Is time countable noun? So this will give you an indication. Many, a lot of time is spent doing research on cures of cancer. I hope that now scientists can do lots of research on the cure of coronaviruses. I hope now. So, many time, a lot of time. What do you think? Oh, mashallah, mashallah. Ziyad Ali, Muhammad, Nizar, Muhammad, Turkey, all of them got the right answer. Bingo, guys. A lot of time is spent. Can I say much time in number 5? I think you can. Much time, a lot of time, because much and a lot of can be used interchangeably with the like uncountable nouns. Much time, a lot of time, can use. Okay. Yes, 6. Did you know that a little or a few sleep deprivation can harm a person's judgment? And if you don't sleep very well, you cannot give the right judgment. Did you know that a little sleep, if you, what do you think? Let me see your answers. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Hassan, Ahmad Saleh, Turki Al-Gahtani, Muhammad Shamari, Muhammad Al-Saud. Thank you very much. Bingo, you got the right answer. This is what you say, little sleep deprivation. Yes. Deprivation, little sleep deprivation can harm his judgment. That's true. Deprivation, that's right. Come on, this is, now I can make sure that most of you, look about generalization, most of you, I cannot say all of you, right? We are using quantity expressions. I can say most of you, maybe 90% of you, have understood what is behind the use of quantity expressions, and I think that most of you can use them correctly in the correct place now. For more indication, for more information, for just to make sure about what I've already mentioned also in this exercise, this is the exercise which I have already discussed, so you can check the answers here if you are not sure about if you are not sure about that. It is solved here, so you can check what we have written. If you can go to page number 120 in your book now, next page. Let's move to another point of view, which is, or another, which is connectors to show support and opposition. Connectors like, on the other hand, for example, however, but also, in addition, these are used actually to clarify the relationship between ideas. Okay. For example, when I say, Ahmed is the best one in class, but when I say but here, before I tell you about the second part of the sentence, now I think you got the idea, you got the hint that there is a problem here, there's a contrast here, there's a problem here, but there's a problem about the guy, but he comes to class late, he sleeps in class, he didn't do very well in the last quiz. Also, this is why we use these connectors. As I told you, we use them to clarify the relationship between ideas. Also, here connectors can be used to signal that this idea will support the first idea, like in addition, furthermore, above all. So we have two kinds of connectors that show support and connectors that show opposition. Okay. One way to support the idea is to give an example that illustrates the idea. Connectors like for example, in particular, introduce examples like that. Look at the example here. people are willing to spend money to make their lives easier. Now here, for example, is supporting the idea. For example, or in addition, most new homes have wireless capabilities. Another example, children should avoid junk food. In particular, to show support of the first sentence, support your idea, they should stay away from sugary snacks. A second way to show support is to add facts or explanation that clarify the idea. For example, the automobile industry is responding to consumer demands for fuel-efficient cars. In fact, you can use this indicator, this connector. In fact, number of available models has tripled in the past 3 years. So these are the examples about connectors that show support. You can say also in addition, furthermore, connectors that show opposition. You remember that in contrast, by contrast, however, on the contrary, okay, on the opposite side, on the other hand, it's sometimes difficult for the writers to show that two ideas are opposed to each other. So, like, however, in contrast, not only contrast, in contrast, by contrast, on the contrary, on the other hand, the other side, to write or focus the reader's attention on differences. You remember when you talk about the previous lecture about similarities and differences. You remember? For difference, we use these connectors. However, in contrast, on the other hand, look at this example here. Electronic books are becoming more popular. However, you can say by in contrast, you can say by contrast. Come on, change the punctuation here. Many people still prefer to read on paper. Another example about that use opposition. In contrast, by contrast, on the other hand, on the contrary, on the other hand. Standard vacations promise relaxation. In contrast, however, on the other hand, on the contrary, whatever. In contrast, extreme tours promise danger and adventures. طبعا we use them before the connectors here. When a connector is used to connect two ideas, a semicolon or a comma. Sometimes you can put a full stop if you'd like. Full stop capital letter can be used. When you say full stop, however, capital H and comma, you can say that. In contrast, full stop, capital I, in contrast, and followed by comma. You can do that if you want. Semicolon, comma, semicolon, okay, comes before the connector. Then the connector is followed with a comma. I think you know that when we studied the symbols and differences, we'll talk about comparison and contrast. By now, we finished the two very important elements. The first one, we talked about the expression that use the quantity expression that are used in the essay, and also we shed some light on using connectors to show support and opposition. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for your interaction. I leave the floor for your questions now. If you have any question, use the mic. Use the mic if you'd like to, or you can write to me if you want. طبعا gentlemen, as I told you before, we had 2 quizzes. You remember the quizzes which we had? I think the marks for these 2 quizzes which we had will be considered for your evaluation. And as we are proceeding now, we are waiting for further instruction from the management about midterms, finals, and how they are going to consider the marks. If you are going to ask me about these questions, please, I would like to tell you, if you want to, after we finish this lecture, please close this conversation and disconnect to Blackboard in order to help me for the recording, because if you are still there, recording won't be available. As I told you, please, if you want to quit, you have to sign out. You have to sign out, and you have to click the leave session button. Leave session button, please. Otherwise, I won't be able to record this lecture. By the way, I'll try to send this lecture via Blackboard for your further discussions or for further use if you need to come back again to check some elements. So it will be available there. I'll send you the link. I received thanks from my students, and thank you Abdulaziz, Turki, Ziad, Muhammad Saad. Thanks for your cooperation, and thank you very much for your listening and your patience. And I pray to Allah Almighty to keep you safe with your family, with your families, and come back safe, inshallah, to campus. Again, thank you very much. I would like to leave the session now because I'm busy with other sessions. Great. Thank you very much for your attention. For our further, maybe you'll ask me, teacher, when are we going to meet again? I will send you, inshallah, further notice beforehand to be ready. Thank you very much. Hope to see you. Bye-bye.